Ali MacGraw knew the moment she laid eyes on him that something was wrong. Not wrong in a way that would make her walk away, but wrong in the way that certain things feel inevitable even as they're pulling you under. She has said, decades later, that the attraction felt almost chemical, and that some quiet instinct deep inside her already sensed danger before a single frame of film had rolled. She was right. What came next was a marriage, shaped by passion, control, and a silence she maintained for years out of fear. Now at 87, she has finally spoken with full honesty about what it truly cost her to love the man the world knew as the king of cool. Her story begins long before Steve McQueen ever entered the picture. MacGraw grew up in Bedford Village, New York, in a home shadowed by her father's alcoholism and the particular kind of emotional instability that leaves children quietly convinced they're never quite enough. She channeled that restlessness into modeling, caught the eye of influential fashion editor Diana Vreeland, and gradually found her way in front of a camera. Her 1969 performance in Goodbye, Columbus turned heads, and the following year, Love Story, made her one of the most recognized faces in American cinema. Oh, she had a thriving career, a powerful husband in Paramount executive Robert Evans, and a young son. By her early 30s, everything looked extraordinary from the outside. Then came The Getaway. Evans cast his own wife opposite Steve McQueen in 1972, a decision he would reportedly spend years regretting. McQueen had come from nothing, abandoned by his father, raised in instability, eventually sent to a reform school called Boys Republic in California, which he later credited with giving him structure for the first time in his life. He carried the wound of that early neglect throughout his entire life, even at the peak of his fame. He became one of the biggest movie stars on the planet through sheer force of will, his off-screen obsession with motorcycles and race cars as much a part of his identity as any role he ever played. When he and MacGraw met on set, the chemistry was undeniable. Their relationship became one of Hollywood's most talked-about romances almost immediately, and by 1973, they were married. But the fairy tale closed quickly behind them. According to MacGraw, McQueen asked her to give up acting entirely, and at the height of her career, out of fear of losing him, she agreed. She has described becoming a full-time homemaker while managing his needs, a role that slowly eroded the confidence she had spent years building. Some accounts suggest his jealousy was intense, even as rumors of his own infidelities circulated widely. MacGraw has acknowledged that the isolation and the weight of the marriage eventually pushed her toward heavy drinking. By 1977, she told him she wanted to return to acting. His reported response, according to her account, was immediate, that if she did, the marriage was over. It was. The divorce was finalized in 1978. 2 years later, McQueen was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer and died in November 1980 at just 50 years old. MacGraw, still grieving someone she had never fully stopped loving, later said simply, "I wish we had both grown old sober." She entered the Betty Ford Center in the early 1990s, rebuilt her life quietly in Santa Fe, and has remained sober for more than 3 decades. She never remarried. She has never recast McQueen as a villain, nor has she pretended the marriage was anything other than what it was: complicated, painful, and real. At 87, that refusal to flatten the truth into something easier is perhaps the most remarkable thing about her. If this story moved you, hit like and subscribe for more.